officially live. How's
Right
it going,
on.
David?
Good, good, good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. It's actually a pleasure to have you in here. We met a few months ago. Actually, it was like a year ago already, right?
I think it was a year ago.
Yeah, and it has been so cool to see your journey from expanding your knowledge in DeFi to actually running your own community on DeFi and sharing some really valuable insights that you can find elsewhere. So when I subscribed to your community and I saw your content, I was like, man, we need to get you on DeFi Orbit. And then on top of that, I know, David, that you are a pro on Aerodrome. So I was like, hey, let's just bring that heat to DeFi Orbit. Let's bring those strategies that our audience needs and wants that you can't find elsewhere. So it is an absolute pleasure to have you in here, David. And I'm really excited for what we have going on today.
Well, thank you, Davis. I'm happy to be here. It's been a pleasure to watch you grow your product and your business, and seeing how it went from an idea to what it is today has been wonderful.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna be doing something special today, but let's hop on the chat real quick. What's going on, John? So good to see you from England. What's going on, Tao? Hey guys, veAERO for the win. Facts. We got some Aerodrome people in here. If you're watching, leave a comment. We'd love to see you're here, and we're gonna get started in a few minutes.
Right on.
Yeah, David. So let's go over the agenda real quick so we can give people an idea of what we're gonna be sharing today. Today we're gonna be going mainly over Aerodrome. David is an expert at Aerodrome. He's actually one of the most knowledgeable people that I know on the topic. He has some really cool strategies. When I found out about the flight school, I actually reached out to him to see how he could help me optimize it. He gave me some tips. Some of them were a little bit advanced back for me back in the days, but like once I understood the concept, I went back to my messages and I was like, okay, that makes sense. So today we're gonna be going over Aerodrome. This is gonna be a little bit more advanced, so hopefully you have your foundation on Aerodrome, and if you don't, that's okay. We can figure it out. But we're gonna be going over the flight wheel, what makes Aerodrome special and unique. We're gonna go over the flight school, aka how you can get some free arrows that you can lock in and put to work. We're gonna be going over the autopilot and yeah, a few other strategies that you can apply. Is there anything else, David? And I'll let you take it from here.
No, if we're ready to go, I think you pretty much nailed it. I want to, I want to talk like I'd like to talk so that everyone can understand. I don't want to go
Okay.
over anyone's head. I think that I can do that, and we'll see how it goes. If I get too deep, just reel me in, Davis.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We also have a chat. So I see from Drugs, he's saying would love to know your best weekly voting strategy, so we can go over that as well. How do you feel, David?
Sure, sure. We'll talk about that when we get to that section of voting and veERO. But I want to kind of start to make the whole thing make sense.
Okay.
Um, why is veERO even a thing, and why does it work? Are we ready to roll?
Let's make it happen, David. So I'll let you take it from here. Guys, please send your questions as well. We're going to go over them towards the end on a QA session. So please send them. We'll go over them and let's get it started, David. So I'll let you take over.
All right. So, from a super high level, I don't want to dig too deep into the flywheel and aerodrome and why you get when you farm LPs on aerodrome, you get arrow instead of the underlying tokens. But that's basically the mechanism that makes veERO and everything work. On Uniswap, you get the underlying tokens and you get your piece, they take their piece, and that's that. But you don't know what the APR is from day to day. It's estimated over a course of time. But if there's no traffic on the LP, then you're not making anything. Uh, that's different with Aerodrome because of how the flywheel works and how the fees are distributed to veERO holders only. Those underlying tokens get sent to people that have locks and are voting And this will all come full circle in a moment. Um, but that's where all of those underlying token fees go, or to the veAERO voters, and the LP providers get AERO, and that amount of AERO is determined each epoch. An epoch is a week, and that's a section. That's a measure of time, an epoch. And in this case, it's 7 days. And every Wednesday or Thursday at 0 UTC, at midnight UTC, the epoch turns over. And all of that, all of the votes are tabulated, and all of the fees are distributed to the voters, and all of the mandatory money that they have to give out in that LP, the next epoch, the next 7 days, is determined. So that means that whatever APR you're seeing in Aerodrome is what you're getting if you're in range. You're getting it every single minute of that week. So that's a really nice feeling there. You know what you're getting. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and that's pretty cool. So what you're saying is some dexes, what they usually do is they advertise an APR based on volume, based on how much transactions are happening, how many fees they're collecting. But based on your range, you might get a whole different APR than what is being advertised. But what you're saying is that on Aerodrome, you actually get what you see, correct?
That's correct. That's a simple way of putting it. I think that the reason that you wouldn't get an APR or the same APR on another DEX, another LP provider, is because there's no volume. There's no volume. In Aerodrome, if there's no volume, you're still getting the distributed tokens. It's unlikely that there will be no volume because everybody just voted for that pool, but we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
That
um,
makes a lot of sense.
but yeah, what you see is what you get, and that's going to happen no matter what. And that's a great feeling to me. I think that that's super, super valuable. So now with that little bit, and there, I could go really deep. I could talk a whole hour just on the flywheel and why the value of it and why it's different. Because of, but I'm not gonna, but I could. The I want to then move to, here's this inflationary coin, AERO, that they just produce every week and they give away to people. And right now, I think it's worth like 31 or 32 cents. Um, it's been as high as a couple dollars in the last bull run. And it goes up and down just like every other coin. And if you're bullish on AERO, it's a great time to buy. Um, but what happens now with all these AERO coins? You could do whatever you want with them when you get them as your LP rewards, or as an incentive from anything else. You could They're cash, right? Turn them into USDC, turn them to whatever you'd like, Bitcoin, and hang on, or cash flow, whatever you need to do. But uh, the mechanism that prevents it just from going to zero because they make infinity AERO is the veAERO, the voting escrow AERO, and that's an opportunity that a couple of places have, a couple of different pools. Of course, along with Aerodrome, Velodrome now is doing VE Velo. They're sister companies and doing the same thing, and about to blow up pretty good, and a lot of changes coming. But uh, veAERO, creating a veAERO lock gives you the right to vote. And in voting on different pools, again, now we're going back to what I talked about a little earlier. Voting on different pools builds traction and builds awareness, and the money is then there. Look at that. Look at you, man. That's nice. The rewards are then distributed amongst all of the voters in that pool. So to get veAERO, you have to lock your AERO token. And to give you an example, I'll get deeper into it. But if you lock any amount of AERO token for 4 years, you get exactly that many veAERO. And that the veAERO uh, degrade over time. They get less. But your Aerodrome, your AERO coins never get less. So in my example, if we put in 2,500 because that's the minimum we'll get into later for a flight school bonus. If I put 2,500 AERO into a 4-year lock, I have 2,500 veAERO. If I put 2,500 AERO into a 2-year lock, then I have 1,250 AERO. It degrades over time, exactly proportionately. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And I want to show really briefly how that would look like. I actually did the flight school, and it was actually a really cool bonus. I understand, from my understanding, the best time to join is right at the beginning of it. But let's go over the example. So let's say we want to do, I don't know, $20,000. I mean, $6,000 worth of the arrow. So what you're saying is that as I move this, I'll get more voting power and more VAERO through the flight school, right?
Yes. Yes, you can see the number at the bottom shrinking and growing for 4 years. If you crank it all the way to 4 years, it's 1 to 1. If you crank it to 2 years, it's half to one. 1 year is a quarter to one. And it degrades as time goes by, or as if you create a lower link or lower lock.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. And question for you, David, since we're here, let me ask some questions like from the user's perspective. If you're gonna lock in your arrow for, let's say, 4 years, which 4 years in crypto, that's like 2 decades. You never know what's gonna happen. I'm ultra bullish on Aerodrome. It's the number one DEX on base. They're now combining Velodrome and Aerodrome, and everything is gonna be running under one roof. Aerodrome is also expanding into different chains, so that's gonna be very, very bullish for veAERO. But what would you say is the strategy to, what's the strategy here, like for you to lock in? Why would you lock in, 4 years, your veAERO to get a bonus? Like, what would you do with that bonus that you can get from it?
It's a fantastic story, and I'm going to actually end the whole circle with an example that will answer all those questions. But there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of ways that you can get in or get out. There's bonuses. There's a lot of things that can happen. And like I said, at the end, there's the lock is an NFT, and you can sell the NFT just to kind of cut ahead a little bit. Um, you would,
Yeah.
there's plenty of markets where you can sell these NFTs, and they're going for about a 25% discount for the most part. Um, we'll talk later about why that doesn't matter. If you buy Arrow today and lock it at 31 cents, and in a year or in 6 months it's worth a buck 50, a 25% haircut to get out of it isn't a big deal. Plus, you probably got some free Arrow and veAERO from your flight school bonus, and on and on. We'll talk more about it.
Okay, I'll let you keep going then. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
no
saw that
problem.
marketplace where you can sell your veAERO locks and at a discount. If you want to buy a lot of it, that's actually a good deal. And if you want
It's a
to get rid of
great,
it,
great way to buy it. I'll,
yes.
I'll talk about benefits too. I think that that where we're going with this voting escrow, it has so many benefits that no one ever thinks about, and there's always a way out. But let's keep going with the VE escrow. So you lock your coins, just like Davis is showing on the screen here, and let's just say that you're scared to lock for 4 years, because I get that. I was afraid to lock for 4 years. When I started with Aerodrome, you had to have 5,000 Aero veAERO to get a flight school bonus. Um, and then 1900 2024, uh, like it was a scary time. Like it was kind of coming up, but what was going to happen, we didn't know what base was going to do or Arrow was going to do. And I did a lock for 4 years, and I hated myself for it for a long time. But now I'm super happy because it all worked out so well. But it could have gone the other way just as easy, right? Um, but let's let's get back to this. So you lock your arrow, and now what you have? Can you switch to the voting screen? Now you vote every epoch. At the end of the epoch, midnight on Thursday UTC, you could vote, and you can see these numbers are pretty outrageous right now, and that's because no one's voted. So don't let this 382% virtual APR fool you, because that's not what it's going to be. This is this is your this is the estimated APR according to how many votes are in on this pool right now. Um, when it gets closer to the end of the epoch, there will be more and more votes. And what happens now is all of the fees that are earned from trades during this the epoch we're in right now get distributed evenly in proportion to all of the voters in each of these pools. So those APRs will settle. There used to be some that were 100 all the time. Um, Now they you tend to settle around 20 or 25% for high ones, and some are as low as 5 or 10%. But what that means is that every week you're getting 25% APR, not on the price of Aero, but on the number of veAERO that you have. So the magic here is that if Aerodrome is 1 penny or if Aerodrome is $1, you're getting 20% on your veAERO. It seems like such a safe hedge that you're going to make that APR no matter what the price. Uh, that's when that triggered in my head. That's when I got Aerodrome, and that's when it all made sense. It was like I can sell the thing if I want to. I can do whatever I want with it, and I'm getting 20% at the time when it hit my head. I was getting 50% every single on every single vote, 50% APR. It's APR. I wasn't getting 50% every week. Um, but I mean, it was not uncommon at all to be getting 5% every week. And now you're getting 2% every week.
Man, I remember when I also did a $10,000 veAERO locked for years. I got like a I got like 40% of
Yeah.
my deposit in free veAERO, which was amazing. Aero's coin was going off the chart. So I remember that I hit $21,000 in value, man. I thought like we made it,
We
like
made it.
I
We
was just
got it.
praying that it could stay like that. But on the other side, I did a few things. If you go in lock, they also have like relays, so you're able to just put your arrow to work automatically. I don't know if you're gonna go over that now, David, or
I'm
not.
gonna, yep, that's the next stop because this is all before we even talk about flight school bonus.
Yeah.
So there are a section of relays that where Davis is now, where you can just set it and forget it and never think about it again. Now they tend to take all of the tokens that you make and convert them into arrow and lock them back into your lock so that you're just compounding and compounding and compounding, which for plenty of people is a great strategy. For plenty of people, it's kind of not because there's no cash flow.
Yes, exactly. So this was like free autopilot money, the real
Right.
original autopilot, right? So you go in here, you lock in your arrow, and now it compounds and take all of the fees that it generates and it gives it back to you as the arrow. So it's autopilot, you're good. The only thing, David, that I learned is that if you lock in your veAERO in one of the relays, I don't know if they change it. This is based on back in the days when I started doing it. um, they will actually extend the lock. So as long as you keep your
Yeah.
VR on any relay, the 4 years timeline is gonna keep extending. So you're still gonna be at 4 years. So the only way that the 4 years can start changing and like counting, so you can actually unlock it, happens if you keep it out of the relays.
I think it's just that relay. It says it. That relay for sure does the veAERO Maxi, but I think that the Moonwell one and other ones do not auto max lock. Some of them do. Then they say it. But yes,
Oh,
there's a lot to lot. We can go a lot. We can go down rabbit holes in every one of these corners. But yes, those are good points, Davis, and you have to know what you're getting into. I kind of want to get to the basics and just explain why it's worth looking into. Um,
okay.
if so now we're voting and we're getting these APRs. We're getting a return on our lock. I'm going to just continue to use 2,500, and that'll become relevant when we talk about it soon. Um, you get to vote those 2,500 veAERO, and you're getting 20 to 30% APR on that, and that's fantastic. No matter what the price of Arrow is, that's that to me is the magic there. So so now we're getting this APR, we're doing all this stuff. What could be better? And there is something better. If you lock new Arrow 2,500, or if you create 2,500 veAERO in a new lock can't be combined, can't be already locked coins. In a new lock, 2,500 or more veAERO every 4 weeks. Aerodrome runs what they call a flight school, and that's just a compounding of getting new locks in there and getting new people in there, and every 4 weeks they take the new locks that are veAERO 2,500 or more and provide a flight school bonus. And the flight school bonus, when I was doing it at the beginning, and I still do it a little bit, was sometimes 120% of my original, uh, uh, lock.
Banking.
It was crazy. Now I think it's about 20 or 25% usually, but recently they had one that was 104%. I think it was like 2 months ago in December, 104%. So there's still reason. And I don't know the calculation. I could dig deep and find it, but I don't know the calculation of how they figure out what that balance is. When Arrow opened, when it became public, they locked 40% of all of the existing at that time Arrow into veAERO locks, max locks, and they use it for voting and kind of probably we could call it market manipulation, right? but but it's for good. They're using their powers for good. And I don't know how it's distributed and figured out, but even at the beginning there were some that were only 50%, but many were over 100%. And as recently as 2 months ago, one was over 100%. So you never know what it's going to be, and there's a calculation for it that probably can figure out. But I think that Arrow would love to keep that under the vest so that people aren't just waiting for those big ones or figuring it out. Um, but now you get this free max lock Arrow of, I'll use a simple number of 10%. So you have 2,500 veAERO that you've locked and you're voting every week and making that APR. And at the end of the flight school, they give you 250 veAERO locked for 4 years. And now you have that to vote on and or compound, make it all one. You can do whatever you want. But now you have more for free. That 250 veAERO today at 30 cents is what's some quick math? Not much, but it's
I'll help
250.
you.
What?
Exactly, 250.
Yeah. Um, you get 250 veAERO, but it's 30 cents each, right? If you think about what you just got for free, it's not nothing. And when Arrow's $1, then it's $250. And that's if the
Exactly.
flight school bonus is only 10%. So now let's think about what we can do. Let me pull up this example that I
Okay,
drew.
and while you do that, David, let's be clear on something. Do you happen to know the next entry point for the flight school? I know it's every 4 weeks.
We've I've gone through this a bunch because I've locked Arrow 10 times and I've asked and I've prodded and I've begged and I've figured it out. And there's a Dune dashboard that tells you the end of the flight school. Um, it's never quite accurate, but what I've found out is that if you lock at any time, at any time, 2,500 veAERO, you get the flight school bonus for whatever month you're in. And it could be, if you being ridiculous and building a caricature here, if you took 1,000,000 Arrow and locked it for 2 days and you had 2,500 veAERO, you would get a flight school bonus for whatever that was when you locked it. Even though it would be expired and you would have your 1,000,000 Arrow again in 2 days, you would still get a flight school bonus. It just needs to be locked in the middle of a go.
This is some next level information.
This is what we're here for, and this is what I do every month. I have 110 veAERO that I lock for 30 days. 110,000, excuse me.
Okay, so
And
you just reusing it. Man, this is fire. Before we keep going with this secret, not secret, like use pro strategies, let's go over a few questions, okay?
yep,
So here we got one. I Tyler Higer. So what day is the bonus paid out at the flight school?
that's another magical question that they keep under the vest. It usually happens about 4 days after the last epoch closes. So it'll happen on a Sunday or a Monday after the epoch closes. And which one is it? You could pull up the Dune dashboard and try to figure it out, but I've never been able to.
Okay, cool, cool. So you wait and it will come to you.
It'll come.
Next next question from Tao Order.
No, if you add to anything locked, it does not count. It's got to be brand new, a brand new lock with never having. Now I'm going to say this carefully. Never having been veAERO before, with the exception of if it unlocked and you relock, then it's new again.
Okay, so that's why you keep recycling, right? You set it up for a short amount of time, and then you go back again and open and create a brand new lock for a short amount
Yeah,
of
if you
time.
have a free 35 grand, it's a great hustle. But you know, it's the value is that now every month I get a 300 or 400, and then I just combine all of these locks and I build big locks, and it works out pretty good.
Man, that's amazing. Let's go over one more question and then we can keep going. Okay, so there we go.
Should I save to 2,500 veAERO to get the airdrop plus 30% from Coinbase One? I have to apologize. I don't know what the 30% from Coinbase One is, but I do know that Coinbase has really integrated AERO. So if there's something above and beyond, and you can combine or stack those two offers, that's killer. And I'm going to make a note to definitely have a look at that.
All right, so we're gonna have a follow up. I have never
Yeah,
experienced the Coinbase bonus as well, so yeah, we probably do a maybe do a short. We do a follow
yeah,
up on this. A great question.
yeah. I'm going to look into that. Thank you, because I don't know. I do have a Coinbase account to get money in and out of base quickly, but I've never. It's only just a vessel. I've never done anything more. So I'm going to look. Um, Because if there's a way to stack that and I can move that, my monthly rollover and find a way to, whoo, that's nice. We'll figure
Yes,
it out.
right. Okay, David.
So,
So just so we can stay on track, because I mean, I can't believe it's already 30 minutes. Loving the conversation, guys.
yeah,
Please keep posting questions, introductions, where you coming from. We want to read it all. At the end of this, we're gonna go over a QA. We got the master in the house, so he can answer all of these questions. So, David, now you got your veAERO. Now you got your bonus. You don't want to put it on the relay because you don't want to lock it for another
nope.
4 years. What are the best voting strategies, in your
So
opinion?
yeah, there's a couple of ways to do this. What I do, I don't know if I'm like a chiseler or I'm lazy. Not lazy, definitely not lazy. But if I'm a cheapskate and I don't want to pay or I don't want to lock it and have it just auto set, I have an alarm set on my phone for I'm in California, so every Wednesday at 2 o'clock I go and I look at all the pools and I vote. And I don't care what I vote for. I'll vote for any meme coin, it doesn't matter. I just care about the highest APR because then I go back, an hour after, 1 a.m. UTC and I take whatever I got and turn it into USDC or Bitcoin. So my risk is one
Fair.
hour of getting rug pulled, right? Um, that's how I do it. It's it's definitely an art and not a science, but it's been pretty productive and valuable for me over the 2 years now. Um, There is a product that called the Autopilot XYZ, and the Autopilot XYZ, you can give it your locks. It will at the last moment vote for you and get you the max APR, and it will then take whatever yield it gets and turn it into USDC. Very elegant and very nice. And it costs, from what I can see, it doesn't really talk about what you pay, but you certainly pay. From what I can see, they take about 10% of your profits, which if you're getting a bigger reward and you're getting a higher APR and incentives, um, completely reasonable and worth it. And I would consider the Autopilot XYZ for anyone that either has to work at midnight UTC on Thursdays or just won't do it themselves because it's too hard. It's a very good way to go. You risk, smart contract risk that's always there. It's even there on Aerodrome. It's even there on your veAERO locks and wherever you're at. Now you have two, uh, but it's if it's free money or money that you're kind of just setting and forgetting, it's good. And then every week you have a little stash of USDC. I think you can have it put it into whatever you want. So if you want to buy Coinbase Bitcoin, uh, you could be building your bags every week.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't used Autopilot just because of, the risk. I mean, I understand we're always exposed to smart contract risks, but for some reason, like delegating my NFTs doesn't seem right. But for some people, this is a great opportunity. Because,
Yeah.
for example, my strategy for boating, when I started doing the boating, I was parking all of my arrows on the relay, which was great, right? I was getting fees from every single boating pool. So, like, you actually collect from everything. But on the downside, I didn't want to keep extending my 4 years, right? So my strategy was, if I put $10,000 and I can get $10,000 in fees, then whatever I have locked is literally free money, right? So I started voting manually on pools like CBBTC. Man, when the Bitcoin voting pool came out, I was pocketing about $220 per week.
Yep.
Bro, I say
It was
we
nice.
made it. I was like, bro, we made it. Like, I was getting, it's literally rent. Like, I put $10,000, and now I'm getting about almost $1,000 on free cash flow. I was like, okay, we cracked the matrix. So
Yeah.
that's how it felt. Of course, over time, Bitcoin CBBTC started being available in multiple platforms, so it became more spread out. So the
Distributed, right?
APR decrease. So now my strategy is to just focus on CBBTC and USDC for voting so I can accumulate some free Bitcoin, put it away. But sometimes I forget to vote. And
Right.
that's the painful part because now you're missing out on money because you didn't vote. So I have like an alarm to make sure that I have it ready. My vote is logged in by Wednesday. For me, I'm in mountain time. So it's about 3 p.m. is when the e-push happens and I get the reward. So but sometimes they don't. So that's what I feel like Autopilot comes clutch. They
It'll
come in
help.
here, they do it for you. You don't have to do anything.
You get a 6%. I don't know what it is. If you go to your dashboard, it would show you. But you get a 6% veAERO lock increase every epoch also. And the worst, really, if you don't vote, you get your votes count from last week. So you get a little bit, because but you get less because you didn't compound your new veAERO, and it's no good. This isn't a bad product, and I've looked into it, and I would consider throwing a lock in there to see if it does better than I do. Um, and I will report back on how that works, because I have plenty of equal size locks that I can certainly throw one in here and measure how my strategy. So we'll do that. So
Okay,
so
I'll write
now
it down so we can add it to the follow up.
that's it. So now talking about the autopilot, and there's another autopilot. If you go to Aerodrome, the front page, they have an autopilot product that they've partnered with Mello to build. It's completely different. I don't know where it is. Maybe if you go to liquidity, it might show you there. Yeah, let that scroll through. It'll show you there. Now, this is a product that they called Autopilot that is in partnership with Mello right there. And that is completely different than the Autopilot.xyz. This has nothing to do with veAERO. This is liquidity positions, LPing, auto rebalancing, and moving around. So, uh, Davis and I have talked in the past about auto rebalancing LP positions, and by auto rebalancing nose diving positions back to 50%, you're getting crushed on impermanent loss because you're selling at a lower price a coin that's already dropping to buy the other coin, and it's just compounding your losses. So I'm not a big fan of this, but there's a place for it. Again, if you're a BTC maxi and you want to get into a USDC Bitcoin position, then set it and forget it. Don't even worry about it because all you care about is compiling Bitcoin and you know do what you
Yeah,
do.
I feel I agree with you, David, on that one. Like auto compound, I mean, auto rebalancers are tricky, right? Because if you set and forget and the market moves against you, you might incur some impermanent losses. But if you just want to give it on, auto mode, like maybe this could be a good solution, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you pick your places, and everything could be. I mean, these products get built and they get used because they're smarter than me. So I don't wanna talk bad about anything. There's a place for it all.
Exactly. Let's use a strategy. Depending on your strategy for your portfolio, if auto balancers, rebalancers can help you there, get there, then this is the way to go.
I think that we've covered Aerodrome pretty good, Davis. I think like I said, I could talk about any of these single topics for the whole hour, but I'd like to kind of see where we're at and what's going on and what people are thinking.
Okay, so let's go over a few more questions. So, guys, please send them over. We're gonna go over this, and I'm gonna show you something really cool in 1 second. So, let's start with where the one over this lock, drugs.
Oh, okay, good. That's the Coinbase One thing. I'm going to definitely dig deep into that. I'll tell you that I do have the Coinbase One Amex card that pays me 2% back in Bitcoin, which I'm really happy about. Um, and that's why I have a Bitcoin One account. I'm not a centralized uh, exchange person. I just try to. It's only a way to get to my wallet, not your keys, not your crypto, and safety. When we talk about me and what I'm doing, it's all about just being safe because I've been burned so many times and lost so much money to different scams and different things breaking. Uh, I just it's just in me now to stay away from exchanges, but unfortunately, you have to use them to get in, right? So that's just a pass through. It's just another bridge. Um, so I will look into that because if there's a 3% bonus, I definitely want to know. Or
Of
30 rather.
course, that's amazing. Next question: how many pools you choose to put in?
I here we go again, diversify and get coins you want, but it all hit me an hour after the epoch. I can get any coins I want. And I'm with Davis. I want Bitcoin. Uh, but if I could get 10% more APR from buying the Davis coin and mix with the David coin, I'm gonna do it. I now vote in one pool and collect all I can and convert it to Bitcoin at the end or USDC.
Man, I have an idea, David. What if we put together like a nice PDF, or it could be like like an online interactive presentation where we show like some really cool compounding and advanced strategies that you can't really find elsewhere, and we give it, to the people that are tuning in. Do you think that would be something cool that we could put together?
Sure, I think that would be great. Arrow is my bag, and it's what I'm not I'm not one to pimp a product, but if I were, it's Aerodrome, and I'm a champion for it. So I want everyone to believe, you know, because of voting power and because of people locking coins, there have been weeks that Aerodrome has been deflationary because the locked arrow is greater than the arrow that they're giving away, the new locked arrow. So, you know, it's when people realize what you can do with veAERO and the value of it, that's more coins locked, and that's not doing anything but helping the price and helping everything that's going on in the ecosystem. So I would love to do that. I want to bring as many champions to Aerodrome as we can.
Okay, so we're going to sync on this. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now to our YouTube channel. We're going to create some shorts and I'm going to give some more follow ups on these topics. Before we keep going, David, I want to show something really cool for those of you guys that are new into DeFi Orbit. We've been working extremely hard to build something super cool for Aerodrome liquidity providers, which I'm going to show you in 1 second. So if you are currently doing liquidity providing, let me show you real quick. I think I lost it. There we go. If you're doing liquidity providing on Aerodrome or any other DEX, we can now give you all of the data that you need in one place. So DeFi Orbit, what we do is we aggregate read-only, no smart contract exposure, we aggregate all of your positions into one dashboard so you can see how much money you're currently making daily, weekly, monthly, pending geo, pending arrow emissions. We realize that some portfolio trackers don't give you the information about your arrow emissions, which is actually part of your bonus. We give it to you. You can also see your average APR. This is real APR, not advertised APR based on your returns, how much money you have invested, current investment value, profit and P&L, total yield claim, and how much claim error emissions you have. DeFi Orbit is currently optimized 100% for Aerodrome users. So if you click in here, for example, you can see how long ago this position was open, which wallet owns it, what's your range. You can see how much this specific position is making you daily, weekly, monthly, approximate APR, total invested, total P&L, the price of USDC, Coinbase price. And if you click expand details, check this out. We have even more information for you.
Mm.
So we can give you your impermanent loss, claim value of held, literally all the information you need to make the most out of your portfolio on Aerodrome. We also show you your historical performance. So for example, when you open this position, how much money did you put in, what has been the value over time, the yield over time, the APR over time, and even a full historical information on your arrow emissions. So for example, arrow emissions claim, which is cool, right, David? This is the free money. When it
Yeah.
happened, what was the value of it, and what was the token price. So this is gonna help you guys take your portfolio game, I mean your DeFi game to the whole new level. All the data that you need in one place. We support Uniswap as well, Orca, and even lending and borrowing positions. So if you have any lending and borrowing, you'll see it here. And for today, we have a special treat. So right now, DeFi Orbit is on beta. We are not publicly available. But if you're watching this, we want to give you free access. So if you use the link in the chat, let me put it in here, DeFi Orbit.xyz. 1 second. There, there it is. If you use that link, you're gonna bypass the invite code and you're gonna get free access. So this is gonna be only available for the next 48 hours. If you have any questions, send me a message. But we want to get you on our platform. There is so much more that we can do for you, but to keep it light, this is DeFi Orbit. And David, I know you've used it. Like, do you have any thoughts on it?
It's a really elegant tool, Davis. I'm excited what you're doing. I think that the deep dive and information that you get, especially aging, and there's even pools that you're out of that it still shows. It has historical data.
Yes.
Um, and I think that value is really good to show you trends and things that are going on, let alone the the tough stuff like tax stuff and things like that that are really going to get ugly here soon. It's not seems like the Clarity Act. I'm tracking it and seeing how things end up. But yes, it's a beautiful tool. It's one of the best I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot.
Yeah, thank you for that, David. And one more thing that I want to show you guys. This is something that we're currently working on. Very soon we're gonna have a portfolio section where you're gonna be able to see how much your whole portfolio is growing, total value, chain exposure. You can see all the protocols, even the ones that we don't support yet. So DeFi Orbit is gonna give you a full holistic view over your portfolio, different wallets, different protocols in one place, and optimized for liquidity providers. So this is DeFi Orbit. I'm gonna stop, announcing it now. But if you want to get access, send me an email or use the link in the description. So yeah, David. So what else would you say is relevant? And we're gonna go over your community in 1 second. But like, what else would you say is relevant to our audience on Aerodrome? And if you guys have any questions, please send them. We have a few more minutes to go over them. So, but what would you say?
I generally, I think that, talking about locking and veAERO and Aerodrome, I'm super bullish on it, like I mentioned, and so what I've learned over crypto and why I started the Crypto Clarity Collective and why I'm doing what I'm doing is that do your own research is a really bad advice. It's really bad advice because people just say that, and what they really mean is buy what I'm selling you because I'm authentic and telling you to go do your own research. No one knows what do your own research means. So I started the Crypto Clarity Collective to teach people how to do their own research. Um, and and that goes with any crypto project. So because I'm pimping Aerodrome doesn't mean that it's great. It means your risk factor and what you're able and interested in is way different than what I'm interested in. So don't take anything that anyone says as real. Do your own research, find out how to do that, look into what you're doing and what you want to do, and take everything that everyone's saying and use it as part of figuring it out. You know,
Yeah.
I, I I've made a lot of money on coins that got rug pulled. I paid for my whole family to survive because of a product called overnight finance. Um, it lasted for a year. I made $100,000, uh, and it collapsed in 3 days from $100 coin to a 2 penny coin. But was it a rug pull? Was it a scam? There's reasons things happen, and I was championing overnight finance like a crazy person. I wanted everyone in there. Uh, so different things work for different people, and that's kind of the safety and important thing that I carry with me whenever I think about or talk about crypto. And I don't want to ever come off as not being that safe person. So because I'm saying that I love it, do with that what you will.
And that's a great story, guys. Real quick, David, he has a community. His content is next freaking level. If you guys want the alpha, a straight up clarity on his portfolio, his aerodrome moves, and actually the work done for you for the most part, I'll highly, highly recommend you to join his community. Here's an example of his content just so you guys see what he sends. Here's like David's DeFi update, aerodrome framework plus analysis plus portfolio update. This type of clarity you can't really find it in a lot of communities. He shares his journey, what he's working on, what is going well for him, what's not going well for him, any red flag tips. Like it is very, very detailed. So if you guys want the alpha, this strategies, you don't want to spend a lot of time on Reddit or YouTube or Twitter, finding what's new, what's working. I'll highly recommend you guys to, join his newsletter. How many times per week do you send newsletter, David?
I have a free one. It goes out 3 times a week. On Mondays, it's free, and on Wednesdays and Fridays, it's a premium subscription. But I have a deal for everybody here. I'll give everyone a free month. Uh,
Oh,
if you sign up, go. Will you put my website in there? Go to
yeah,
cryptoclaritycollective.com. There's a link at the bottom of the page if you want to just go down there to the very bottom of the newsletter.
yeah. It's just sharing. So a free month, man. And I know David personally. He offered me a good deal, but I decided to sign up for the premium because of the quality of his content. Even though he offered me a deal, so I appreciate it, David. But if you guys want to get access to alphas at a very affordable price, only $9 a month, and you get like all of this data that you don't have to research yourself. I will highly recommend it. There is the link in the description, so you're gonna give them a whole month for free. Is what you said,
Yeah,
David?
sign up at that link, cryptoclaritycollective.com, and use the code DeFi Orbit. That'll be
Okay.
good through Monday. So if you know people that might benefit, let them know. That code expires Monday. Can you go to the top of my page? I'd like to show everybody one thing that is gonna.
Yeah.
It's good. Go to where it says DeFi opportunities on the far right.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay.
I uh I wrote a book on 12 red flags because of all the I got into this because of how I've been burned. And I'm going to give everyone here a copy of that book. I'm going to get an email list from Davis, and I'll give everybody here a PDF version of that book. And it has a framework of something you could do in about 60 minutes that will check all of the value. Of course, 100 flag framework isn't 100% proof, but this 12 has proven really valuable for me. It saved me a lot of money from things that just went to zero. Um, this tool on this page right here, every 6 hours, I have an agent that goes out and searches all of the new pools and looks for them and runs them against the 12 flags and scores them. So just kind of a quick look at what is kind of a valuable pool out there and what I would recommend against those 12 flags. But more importantly, at the very top, um, you could you could on demand any um, pool in the world. If you go to DeFi Orbit, pull the pool address and pop it in there, it'll run my report against it, give you all of the details. So now instead of an hour of you searching if they have faces on social media and uh, good Discord group and what kind of LTV, if you put the address of the pool in there and run report in 60 seconds, you'll have the answer to all of that.
That's
This is a
huge.
Yeah, this is free for now, and it's going to go behind the paywall for premium users of the newsletter, premium subscribers. But I want everyone to test that out because I need to kind of put a little stress test on it, and I need to see if it's valuable. So please, please, please check it out. And remember, use the code
Perfect.
DeFi Orbit, sign up for the newsletter, and you get the first month free.
That's huge. Once again, guys, give it a try. You have nothing to lose. Just 1 month for free. I'm sure you're gonna love the content just as much as I do. So we got about 7 minutes left. Guys, do you have any questions, any requests? We're gonna bring David back in a few weeks. David, if you're okay with it, so we can, go over the follow-ups from this chat, like how Autopilot is going for you, maybe new strategies, that new book that we're gonna work on together with strategies, compounding, and things that people can't get anywhere else. But besides that, any question, guys, that we can go over?
There's a question that John has, right? Let me tell you a different way to get there. If you go to learn.cryptoclaritycollective.com, learn, Learn, because that's all that I am. I'm just trying to be an education channel. I'm not going to pimp anything. I got no skin in the game. I just want everyone to be safe. And then go to upgrade. Click on upgrade in the middle. You have to sign up for there. Click that. Okay, let's go back. You got to sign up for the free one first and then you can upgrade. So just
Hey, some
sign up right
technical
there.
issues, but it's a new community, so I get it. Like new
Yeah, I'm
system, so
sorry about that. Well, you'll have to
so we
sign up there. That you'll be signed up for the free one, and then if you upgrade with your email, uh, you will be able to apply the code. It's once you get to the paywall. I'll make sure
okay.
that
So
everybody does it.
sign up for the free version, and then if you want to upgrade, just type DeFi Orbit, and you get a whole free month.
Yeah, the free version is only Mondays. You'll get, but if you sign up and then use the code DeFi Orbit, you will get a free month of the premium stuff, and you'll get all the stuff behind the paywall, which is going to happen this week.
Whoosh, look at all that content. That's amazing. Well, guys, we have about 5 minutes left. First thing first, I don't see any questions, so send them over if you have anything. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for staying till the end. If you guys want to try DeFi Orbit, there is a free code. You can sign up for free, and bypass the invite code, and you can also get a full free month of Crypto Clarity Collective by using the DeFi Orbit code. Just make sure that you sign up for free, and do not forget to hit subscribe. We're gonna keep bringing more speakers. We're gonna bring David back, and we're gonna keep creating more content. Our next content is gonna be based on gold. So if you like gold, if you want to trade gold and accumulate free gold through Geo, stay tuned because next week we're gonna be releasing a full breakdown, aka crash course, on how to buy gold on chain, how to trade it, how to get loan, how you can get loans against it, and much more. So thank you all for tuning in. David, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you in here. I don't see more questions, so I think we can call it a day.
All right. I got a YouTube channel coming soon, and my X here, Crypto Clarity Collective. Here's YouTube. Nothing there now. Whoops. Hang on. Nothing there now, but I put my X handle in there, and I hope to keep up with all of you.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, everyone. We'll stay in touch. David, you're the man.
Right
Thank you.
on. Thank you, Davis.
Thank you. All right.
Talk soon.
Talk soon.